Hi, my name is Dmitry Maliev. I'm a current student at the Flatiron School. And today I'm going to be presenting my Rails project at 2:30 in the morning. So, my project consists of students, tutors, appointments, and users. Right? And in order for a user to do anything, to view anything, to make an appointment, they can only um, sign up or sign in, right? Initially. Once they sign up, they can, in order to sign up, they can either fill out this form manually, or they can do it via the OmniAuth authentication process over here that I implemented via Google. And there's also OmniAuth authentication processes, which is a gem that is used in conjunction with the Ruby programming language. In Rails is a collection of gems for Ruby. So over here, I can click this to authenticate and log in. I have this pretty much filled out within the app, and that's what we're gonna do now. Okay, I click this, my name, and it says successfully authenticated from Google account. So we got some people dancing. Okay, so these are the list of students. You know, this is the list of tutors. I like dogs more than cats, but I also like cats. And of course, I like Homo sapiens. Um, and yeah, and this is the list of appointments with our friend Mr. Bean. Um, and over here, we have the option to filter. Like for instance, if I want to see upcoming appointments, I can do that. That works. Do this, and of course, it can be combined. This. Okay. And if I click sign out, we're back to square one. Okay, now let's dive in some code. So initially, the background image. Let's talk about that. So this is the transparent one, and this is the Blue's Clues one. And this is the logo I used. I've stored the files um, in the images directory, which is, you know, part of assets in the application folder. Okay. In my in the controllers folder, in users, I have the OmniAuth callbacks controller, application controller, appointments controller, students controller, and tutors controller. Okay. Use a soup bowl of coffee right now. Uh, so over here, this is the fourth request because there's, two requests that's coming from the server and two from the user, I believe. Need to double check that. Um, so over here is the method that retrieves information from what the user put in, and it authenticates. Okay. Um, this is the application controller. It's the primary one that all the other all these three use to inherit from. And before action means none of these run until this is you know goes through successfully. So um, so first this runs, and if everything is successful, like this permit says that this is what's allowed, and if it's properly was configured, there wasn't anything that wasn't supposed to be there, and there are no errors, then it would proceed further. Okay, now this is the appointments controller. And over here we have before action, two of them. This one, the first one, authenticate user. This is a private method we have implemented. No, excuse me. This makes sure there is a user that is authorized before any other actions can run. So a user won't be able to view, edit, update, delete anything unless they are authenticated, right? So before anything can occur, a my app assures that there is an active current signed in authenticated user, right? And this one, the next one, before action set appointment, only for show, edit, update, and destroy. What this does is the private method shown as here. So it finds, for instance, the appointment which belongs to the current user using their ID. Right, so that's what's happening here, and it assigns it to at appointment that we can use in many different places. Okay, like it gives us access to it in show and edit and things of that nature. So over here in the index, in the index method, also known as action, we we take the current user, which is provided to us by the device gem, which helps us with the authentication process, and we call it on the students of that current user, and we call the find by ID method. And in the argument, we put params student ID, and we assign that to student. If something was found here, and we do something similar here. We don't do it the current user because there is no direct relationship. That's why we're calling it this way. Okay, and we're implementing conditional logic here by finding out if there's a student present in the params, then do this. If there's a tutor present in the params, assign it this way. If there isn't anything, assign it the appointments instance variable on it, on this, like like this. Okay. um, and the reason we're doing it this way is because we have nested routes here, and sometimes we have the same controller action responding to, like, this one or this one, or see, I have them highlighted, or this one can go to the same path. That's why we need to specify which one goes where, depending on what's in the params. That's how we can differentiate and make sure that the user goes to the where they want to go. Okay. Okay. With the new, second, so yeah, with the new we do something similar like we did above. And what this does is we just make, um, if it doesn't belong to either the student or the tutor, over here, like, if there was a student in the params or there's a tutor in the params, the foreign key would be assigned to the appointment or to the student, right? So therefore, this would make the belongs to association for us. If we didn't do it um, this way, we could have a similar result, but with the exception of the foreign key assigned for us. Okay, and this is done for the form in the views in the new. Okay, like if this or this doesn't apply in the conditional logic, then it's just a plain form with this carried over. Okay. Um, with the create method, we have appointment equal appointment dot new, and the appointment params is the private method that we implemented, which is right here. The require means this must be present, and permit means these can be present. So um, has to be present, can be present. Okay, and so that's the story here. So it's passed in here as an argument, and we find out if it saves, if it successfully saves. This will takes us to the um, put, yeah, it will go to the show path. Okay, and if it isn't, it's gonna go back to new. So something similar to this, so a user can try again. Okay, the update method, which can also save, which does try to save it, uses the same params, And if it's successful, it's redirected to the show path as well. If it's not, it's redirected to edit. And this one is destroy. So it finds the appointment, it destroys it, and then it goes to the I believe index page. Yeah, index. Okay. So these controllers are almost exactly alike. That's hence the word almost. Over here is the routes. This method provides the 7 RESTful routes for this um, this and this, and but for for appointments, it's nested under tutors. Appointments, it will only create these 2 out of 7, and for tutors, which are under students, in this example, we will create 1 for tutors and 2 for appointments under students, like, respectively. Um, and this implements device for the users, and this is the OmniAuth callbacks, which will um, like redirect the user depending on if the user's authentication went through correctly or it didn't. Um, and this is the root meaning like the home page. Okay. Okay. So over here is the OmniAuth process that starts here. And I'm using a link to method to go to this path. And I've implemented an image tag to show that nice photo with a Mac in the background. And this is one of the routes I've implemented. And this is how the OmniAuth process gets started. So just wanted to follow up on that. Okay. So these are my models. The appointment model is my join model. It belongs to the tutor and the student. And the difference between validates and validates is like sort of built in, and validate is used more for a custom validation. Um, so this one we wanted to prevent double booking, which I'm sure many of you encountered. So we implemented quite complex logic here. So starting refers to the starting date and time, and ending refers to the ending date and time. And what any checks for is if there's at least one of these that um, is less than or more than the, like if it ends, if it starts in the middle, or it starts like in the middle of it starting and ending, or the other way around. Like if there's a, like a conflict, like between someone starting an appointment or finishing an appointment. Okay, and if there is, we add a message to the tutor object. We add an error message to the tutor object by implementing it. Okay. So yeah, that's exactly what I wanted to say. Um, so it checks if it starts before it ends or if it ends after it starts, right? And these are scope methods I have. No, no, not this one. These ones. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So the student belongs to a user, and a student has many appointments and has many tutors through appointments. And over here, the validation, we want to find out that there is a name present in the form and that it's unique, meaning that the user doesn't have two students with exactly the same name, right? One specific user, not two different kinds of users with similar first names. Okay. And over here, a tutor has many appointments and a tutor has many students through appointments. And a user has many students, has many tutors through students, and has many appointments through students. And this is the device methods that I've implemented. This is in charge of uh, logging in. This is creating an account, and this is to recover the password. This is to store the user, I believe, store user's information. Um, Validate is to check if something's present, and these two is for authentication. And this is the Google version of Omni Authable. Omni Authable, yeah, Omni Auth. Um, so here we have a method that self from Google. It finds everything that the user put in, and it tries to find that user. If a user exists, it updates it unless a user with a specific UID unique identifier ID is already present, and it returns the user. If it's not, it creates it. The password here is it because it can't be blank. It just each time this is run, it produces a completely random number that's pretty much never used and can't be retrieved. Okay. Here are the views. So this is a partial I have, which is implemented a couple of places. This is the Jiffy I added. This is how I render the partial. This refers to the form, which is this one. We omit the underscore, and locals, meaning that's what it's set. So appointments. So we have this partial, and everywhere there is appointment, we made it a non-instance. So this will substitute it in here and fill it in for us to save us from retyping everything. Okay, this is how I implemented red color if someone wants to delete an appointment, like for instance. This one. This also works. Edit student. And strong tags over here means bold. Yeah. And these are the error messages. If there are any error messages, it will display how many in the message with like each message separately on a separate line. Yeah. So this is used for the device sessions is used for logging in. Registrations is used for signing up or editing it, the sign up form. I'm sorry, editing their sign up registration. Okay, and yeah, but that's pretty much it. These are the the migrations. When this is run via db migrate, it it creates it runs the migrations and creates the tables for us. This is the schema. And this is my seed file. The sample method here means like choose a random out of this list. Okay. this is how I implemented the filter. And one more thing I want to share. Over here is the env file. I'm purposely not clicking it. um, and because this has the secret and the key that's derived from the Google developer website. And we add it here in git ignore the name of the file, which is this. So it's not in the like it's, this file isn't shared or shown in the um, github.com and in the history in this thing in the source. Yeah. And yeah, that's about it. um, have a good night or good morning, and thank you for your time.